another episode of Across the Drape, where real-life anesthesiologists give us real insight into life in private practice. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Melissa Villegas, who is also known as a superhero in our world. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So, Dr. Villegas, you serve in multiple leadership roles. Yes. Let me know if I miss anything. So, you are chief of surgery, you are chief of anesthesia, and you are vice chief of staff at multiple hospitals and surgery centers, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Also, you are chair of our wellness committee.
Yes.
So those are very different roles. So on the one hand, you are very focused on wellness and preventing burnout. On the other hand, you are doing all the leadership stuff. And not to mention, you are a mom. So how do you do it? How do you balance that? And where do you draw the line in pushing through and having that moment to check in with yourself?
Sure. That's a lot. There's a lot of questions.
I know. I want answers to all of them in order. No.
Okay. Well, it's always important to take a step back and to evaluate the emotional side, your emotional resilience, your physical health, your mental well-being, the spiritual aspect as well. And so every day, every week is something different.
Yeah.
You may feel fine one day and another day you're snappy and really irritable. And so you have to take a step back and just think, what am I missing? Is it relationships? Is it a friendship that's hurt? Or is it children? Or is it overwhelming amount of carpool rides? Is it in work? Is it out of work? And just try to really think about what is it that's overwhelming you, and then try to figure out a solution. And it's going to be different every time.
Yeah.
But just taking that pause and then taking that evaluation is going to be the most important thing. And for me, the line that I draw is the irritability.
Yeah.
So when I'm with the patient and they're not giving me the answer that I'm wanting as fast as I'm wanting it because we're trying to do our work, then I realize that's not them, it's on me.
Yeah. You're like, maybe I'm tired.
Yes.
Maybe I need a nap.
Maybe I need to remember why I'm doing this in the first place.
Right. Which brings me to my next question. Why do you do it? What made you want to be a physician, and why do you keep doing it after all these years?
Yeah. So I love it. I love my job. I love being able to go and make money doing something that I love doing, which is all of our goals, right? To not feel like you're working when you're working. And the relationships, like I said, is the most important part. So being able to connect not just with the patients, but with the surgeons and the nurses, and knowing their families and knowing their life outside of work really makes it feel like you're at home when you're there.
Yeah.
And it makes it exciting going to work. And I can't wait to talk to, Tabitha, to hear about what happened with her trip to the Bahamas and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Is what makes it meaningful.
Yeah. That's one of the things I admire about you and why you're so great in your role, especially as chair of wellness, because you really have that voice to say, number one, take care of yourself. But number two, taking care of yourself looks very different to different people and at different stages. Exactly. So sometimes that's checking in with yourself. Sometimes that's connecting with somebody and really focusing on those relationships. And I appreciate that so much about you, that you're so aware of that and you really encourage people to bring in those aspects to their life.
The importance of, like you said, checking in.
Yeah.
Not just with yourself, but with your colleagues. So when you get to know one another, then you can see those subtle hints of when they're getting to that line of fatigue, right?
Yes.
So they're not as energetic as they usually are, or they kind of seem indifferent. They seem to not care about the things that they normally care about.
Right.
Those are the subtle clues that you can look for to check in with them too, and just say, hey, what's going on? Do you need something? Do you need help?
So how do you do that though? When you find yourself thinking, I see some signs. How do you approach that, especially in a group like ours that's physician-owned, physician-led? It's like you don't want to appear that you're trying to mommy somebody or be draconian, but you want to extend an olive branch and just be like, I see that you need somebody to talk to. So how have you found different ways to do that have worked?
I just think that being a friend and just saying, hey, I've noticed you may not be yourself lately. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Let me know if you need anything. Do you need to pick up a call for you just so you can take care of whatever it is that you need to take care of at home? And there's only so much you can do. And so I think just having that offer, just recognizing it and offering it. And then that's what I love about the wellness newsletter too, is we do find different avenues for people to kind of seek help in an anonymous way. It's hard for us, we love to help others, but it's
Yeah.
hard for us to admit when we need help. And
Absolutely.
that's a huge thing
Yeah.
that we need to recognize in ourselves, is that it's important for us to ask for help when we need it.
Absolutely. All right. So you have figured out a pretty good way to balance work and home life, right? So what advice would you give to whether it's a resident or a physician just starting out on things that they can do to kind of make sure that they take care of themselves to hopefully prevent physician burnout?
Yeah, I think the transition's hard. I came from residency and I'd never taken a vacation ever because I would use it for maternity leave.
Yeah.
And so I had one of my colleagues come up to me one day and he said, you've never taken a day of vacation.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, is there a problem with that? He goes, no, that's a big problem. You need
Yeah.
to take vacation for multiple reasons. And he just kind of sat down and discussed why it was important.
Yeah.
And then I did. Now it's hard not to take vacation.
Yeah. Now
But
you're like, I need more vacation.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of time that
Yeah.
we're gonna have to work.
Yeah.
But to make those relationships outside of work, like I said, will not always be there. And
Yeah.
your kids will grow up so fast, and your parents will grow up fast, and all of these things that are happening around the world aren't gonna stop.
Right.
But your work will always be there.
Yeah.
So I live by that work hard, play hard mentality, right? How you build yourself up outside of work is what allows you to be fully present at work. It allows you to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So don't get hobbies. If you
Right.
didn't have any in residency, now's
Get
the time.
some. Now's the time.
Learn to
Yeah.
garden or read
Yeah.
a good book instead of a textbook.
Yeah.
And go watch a movie or go cycling or do things that are fun for you
Yes.
so that you can be fulfilled and bring that best version of you to your patients.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what's the thing for you? What's the one thing, if you had to just pick one thing that helps you recenter and gives you that recharge, what is that?
Well, I'd have to say two.
Okay.
It's one's my faith,
Okay.
and then the other is working out. My husband and I work out almost every day.
Okay.
He wakes me up at 4:30 in the morning, and I hate him in the morning,
Yeah.
but then I love him later. It truly helps my mental state more than my physical state.
Yeah.
And those two things, I feel like I can conquer the world.
That's
when
so good.
I'm able to do that.
No, I think that's great. And it's different for everybody,
Yes.
right? Some people meditate, some people run, some people do sound baths, some people get facials, and some people work out. I am not that person, but good for you that you can do it. So now,
Retail therapy is always great too.
oh God, that's my
Which
favorite
motivates
kind.
you to work more, right?
See?
You have to pay the
Winning.
bills.
This is the advice I need. This is the advice I need. Yeah. I know this is kind of a lame question, but how do you define wellness as a physician?
I don't really think there's one definition. Like we've talked about,
Yeah.
it's different for every person, for every aspect of your life, and it's just about being balanced, I guess.
Yes.
Is what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you so much. And I've talked before about, work-life balance is something that somebody has to create for themselves. You define that. And I always tell residents when we go do our educational talks, do not take work-life balance being offered as like a solution to a great career, because you don't know what that means for that group.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you? And ask the right questions to make sure that what they're offering as work-life balance aligns with who you are. So absolutely. I think we have to have hobbies and have our own interests and find ways to feel fulfilled outside of our work, but then also make sure that when we're at work that we're still able to get that balance. So absolutely.
Yep. And I think also another aspect I was thinking of earlier when I was really trying to think about these questions, that service. Right?
Yes.
A lot of us don't think about that, but sometimes we get caught up in our own mind and think about me, and what do I need and what can make me feel better, when really the answer is in serving others and going out and volunteering. And our group is amazing that we have those opportunities to do that. The surgery center that I'm a chief of anesthesia for, they also do service activities. We all bring our kids to do that. And then looking at your job as a service opportunity. And I think that really can fill the heart as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No. So anesthesia is still typically, male dominated, but you have been able to achieve multiple leadership roles. So have you felt any moments of intimidation, or has it not really fazed you?
Sure. I mean, I think at some point we're all intimidated when we step into those leadership roles, and you just want to make sure that you are the right fit for that position. But in an aspect of female versus male. I've never had that intimidation. I have a twin brother that I've grown up with. With all his friends, I've always kind of been surrounded by the guys who never treated me any differently than one of the boys.
Love
and so
it.
I had to
Yeah.
learn to, build thick skin and just grind it out and work
Yeah.
really hard to get with what I needed.
Right.
And so it's not about male and female. It's just about working hard and getting what I think I deserve while cherishing the female attributes that we
Yeah.
have naturally. Things like compassion and the innate ability to nurture, I think are great attributes that women have as
Yeah.
female physicians that we
Absolutely.
can give towards our patients. And I'm not saying men don't have that, but it definitely doesn't come as naturally for
Yeah.
most as I think it does for women. So we can have both the leadership and the woman force.
I love it.
I don't know if I keep that part.
No. No, it's a perfect answer. I love that. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm going to ask kind of a personal question.
Okay.
I know that you have 7 children, right?
Yes.
Amazing. First of all hail you.
I'm just crazy.
If I have one and I can barely just get through the day and come to work. You serve in multiple leadership roles and you're an amazing mom. Like it blows my mind. So how have you personally learned to balance family and work?
It's hard. You have to do it day by day.
I want
and
an easy answer. Tell
truly
me.
takes a community. It's more than me. It's
Okay.
the husband. It's outside family.
Yeah.
It's our neighbors. It's the friends that
Yeah.
help and chauffeur kids. And it definitely is more than just me.
Yeah. Knowing that you have 7 beautiful souls that are looking to you to know how to act in the world, do you feel any underlying pressure to achieve more, or are you just happy to show them that if you work hard and do the things that you love, you'll be fulfilled?
Yeah, I think that that's the most important because it baffles my mind every day with how different every single child is.
Yeah.
They're in the same environment, the
Yep.
same parents, and their personalities are so different.
Yeah.
And their loves and interests and things are so different. And so for me, my job is to bring them up to be them.
Yeah.
Not who I want them
Yeah.
to be. And sometimes that's hard. And I joke with some people because I am such a perfectionist. And I used to give my older sisters a hard time when they would have laundry to do. And I'm like, how do you have laundry? Like all of my laundry is done.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And it took 7 kids for me to realize that I cannot be perfect.
Yeah.
I will not be perfect. And neither will anybody else around
Yes.
me. And it was just, it gave me, I guess, the relief to just let go of that control.
Yeah.
And it's the same with how they're going to be. It's not in my control.
Yeah.
It's my job to bring them up to be well-mannered and respectful.
Yeah.
But as far as, my husband always jokes when everyone asks how we can afford 7 college degrees.
Yeah.
He jokingly says, well, I don't know if they're all college material. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So would you say in a sense, I mean, that being a mom has actually helped you as a leader because it's taught you to look at things differently?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I joke with one of our colleagues too, saying that sometimes I feel like I'm parenting at work because the same undergrounding, like the bickering and the unhappiness and the pointing fingers, it's all the same.
Childlike.
It's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we just kind of laugh at each other and I'm like, it never ends.
I'm a mom of hundreds.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Across the Drape. Until next time, count back from 100.